Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about one stock in particular that I think is going to do very well over the next maybe 3 to 7 years, and even farther than that, and probably sooner than that. So if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to like it. Also subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's get right into it. So the stock that we were talking about today is one that I own a lot of. It's actually a very big percentage of my portfolio. It's around almost 20%. I have $4,000, over $4,000 in the stock, and that is Elf Beauty, ticker symbol ELF, Elf. So this company is one that specializes in the beauty industry, cosmetics, skincare. Everything is clean, vegan, and cruelty free. It is accessible. It's very cheap products, and also inclusive. Yes, this is a relatively new company founded in 2004, and you can see, I mean, they're not that big. They have a $6 billion market cap. It's a pretty decently sized company. But if you look at the stock price, you can see that, it's down a lot today. Pretty volatile stock here, actually, to be honest. Down 5% today. Past a month, it's down 7.5%. Past 3 months, it's up 116%. But year to date, it's down almost 12%. So this stock has moved a lot this year. We can see that it was down 60% at one point this year, and then it was up 3% at one point this year. So there's been a lot of swings in this stock, to say the least. But I bought it, when it was very cheap. I picked up a lot of shares, and it's treated me very well. I'm up 51, almost 52% on this stock, $1,500 about. But kind of wanted to break down why I think this stock is still a very good buy, and why I think that you should get into this company to diversify your portfolio and kind of, get, your foot in the beauty industry, the beauty sector of the stock market, because it is a very, they can monetarily benefit off of a lot of consumers in the beauty space. And it's kind of, Elf, I like what they're doing a lot too, because they're getting into the skincare game, which is used by, guys. I mean, makeup is used by predominantly girls, but skincare is used by everyone. So I do like what they're doing with that. But yeah, let's get into their investor slideshow. There's 173 slides. We're not going to go through all of them. But I mean, look at this. There's $74 billion in how much the global cosmetics sector is worth, the category. But we can see Elf is very new company, as far as the space goes. We can see also they're 26, over $100 million in retail sales. Elf is part of that, Elf Skincare, and then over $850 million in retail sales. So they're pretty good numbers, to say the least. But also look at it at a glance. So $1.3 billion in net sales. That's very good. Then we have 30% compounding annual growth rate, which is pretty insane. I mean, the SPY only returns 10% every year on average, 30%. That's a little bit better. That's a very good growth rate for this company. And yeah, I mean, they're a top 10 US skincare brand. They're number 2 for the US color money share, and they're number 1 in US color unit share. So I really do like, Elf, along these other brands in the cosmetic industry. I think that, a lot of what Elf is doing is very good. They're a very young company, and they're already one of the biggest, leaders in this cosmetic game. And you can see they have 24 consecutive quarters of net sales and market share growth. That not many companies have done that. And there's actually one other company in the Mag 7 that's very notable that has been able to do the same thing as this, and that's Nvidia. And look at their stock. We could see their sales growth is a little bad on global, but I mean, we look at the other ones and it's like, all right, they're going to do okay. But I do like how Elf is doubling down on their skincare, doubling down on cosmetics, doubling down internationally. This is just pretty good stuff that we're seeing here. Let's keep going down the investor slideshow. There's a lot to see here. 20 years young. There is really a lot to see here. I don't want to see all of this. Let's just see the numbers. So they have $100 million equity granted. That's not bad. But we can also see 90% of company engagement, 97% recommend working at Elf. That's great. You got to keep your employees happy. If you have employees that like working for you, that's probably a good recipe for success. So Elf kind of gets into the numbers later in the earnings report. I mean, this isn't even an earnings report, actually. This is just a 2025 presentation on the company. So this isn't even, I mean, I kind of just wanted to go over this because I've made videos about Elf before on their earnings report, but those weren't really, I mean, it was just, where the stock was at the time, but now I'm kind of looking at it, farther out, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I mean, look at the marketing and digital percent of sales. This is where sales are moving. You know what I mean? I mean, this is where money is being made. It's online, it's marketing and digital. And we can see in 2019, that was only 7% of their sales, and now it's 25. So one in every four people buying Elf is buying it not from a retail place, not from somewhere that's buying it for cheaper from Elf. They're buying it directly from Elf, where Elf is able to make their own price, sell it for the price they actually want to sell it for, and there's no middleman. Elf is just selling whatever they want for however much they want, and they're keeping all of that money. So that's a very good thing to look for in companies if they're able to sell it themselves, because a lot of companies, well, they'll do good, but they sell everything in a store, so it's like they're the store's getting it for cheaper, and then they're not making as much money. But I mean, also, I mean, look at this: 20 points, unaided awareness. I'm not sure about that. But Elf is the number one favorite teen brand. I do believe that a lot. I mean, this is what I like to look for in a lot of companies is their social presence. So Elf is 35% voted the number one favorite teen brand. Six consecutive season. And second place isn't even close. 10% to 35. I mean, Elf really has it down with this customer base. They know what they're doing. And yeah, they're number one most purchased by Gen Alpha, number one most purchased by Gen Z, and number one of most purchased by millennials. So they have everyone. Elf is doing, yeah, multi-generational appeal. Has something for everyone at every age, and they're doing it right. And another thing to look for is they're the number one most productive brand in Target, Walmart, Ulta Beauty, and I'm not sure about these other ones, but those are three very big companies, and they're the number one most productive brand in those companies. That means that their product is moving the fastest. It's on the shelf and off the shelf the fastest. So Elf does sell their products for very cheap. I will say that is true, but the margins are great. The margins on their products are insane, and the volume's so high that you're getting in and getting out so fast. They're moving that fast in all of these stores, and that's just number one most productive brand, not in the makeup industry. It's just brand. So no other company is doing that. Not even like Apple, not even Amazon. None of them are doing that. So it's pretty impressive right there. And then their 2019 to 2025, they've had over 30% compounding annual growth rate on net sales, adjusted EBITDA. And I mean that 30% compounding annual growth rate, you can't get anywhere in the stock market. You can't get that anywhere. I mean, if you find that, you got to take up that opportunity, and that's probably what you want to take up right now. And we see that their outlook looks very good too. Their growth rate is in the high 20 percentile. That's pretty good. And then we also see the category is $20 billion, and Elf is the leader in this category. Elf is the leader in this category, and the share that they have of the market is the most. We can see also Elf Cosmetics, they're growing every single store that they've been in, they've grown exponentially. And yeah, I mean, this is just a lot of good numbers from Elf. So I did want to look at Elf a little bit more just on the price side. We can see that Elf was a lot more expensive about a year ago. It was $181. And then 5 years ago, Elf actually reached an all-time high of around $210. I think it was 220 at one point. Yeah, 217. But I mean, Elf looks really good to me right now. I do think that this company is going to continue to grow over the years as they, keep increasing their customer base. They keep growing their brand and getting in more stores. They just finalized a deal with Dollar General. They're going to be in a lot of Dollar General stores, which I really like. You're putting that cheap product in front of a customer that doesn't want to spend that much money. They feel like they're getting a deal. Elf's making money. Dollar General's making money. I like that deal. I like what they're doing with that. They're a very fast moving product that's great for that store. And yeah, so I wanted to also check options play on Elf. I like to check these out sometimes. And this is one that Elf would have to increase a lot. So let's take it down. I think a realistic thing to say is that Elf is going to be more than 30% greater. The price of Elf is going to be 30% higher than it is right now in January 2027. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. So we can see right here, it's a $3,500 option. So this is an expensive option, if I do say myself. It is an expensive stock. It's in the triple digits, but at the same time, it's an expensive option. But we can see that you can 5x your money pretty easily. I mean, Elf would have to rise a lot, but I mean, look at this. I mean, Elf can go up 60% and you're doubling your money. I don't think that's that crazy. I think Elf, I mean, that's another thing I look for with these stocks is Elf's all-time high is 220. Do I think Elf is going to be worth more than $220 one day? Yes. I think that's a pretty easy bet that you can make with yourself, and that's double the price of what it is right now. So that's why I feel so confident investing in Elf. I don't think they've reached their peak. I think that this is a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear with tariffs and oh, is Elf going to keep up their growth rates because they're growing so fast? So a lot of fear was put into people, and that's why investors kind of got cold feet and started selling. But I think long term, I mean, this company, if you can just ignore the noise and not make emotional decisions on your investment, this is going to be a pretty good one to be in. You're going to be rewarded pretty well. And I think if you have a portfolio like me that's primarily tech based, my biggest holding is Nvidia, almost 50, or not Nvidia, it's AMD, almost 50% of my portfolio. It's great to get a little bit of, diversity in the portfolio and have some cosmetic brand is one of my other top holdings. I like that. I want to be in that space. I want to make some money by being in that space and I want to have that reach to be able to make money in that area because I do think that's the area that's going to grow very fast as time goes on. We're seeing it. We're seeing it right now. So I wanted to also show you an options play. If you did buy that $110 call, I don't hate it. It's almost a 70 delta. You could sell an $130 call. So I don't like that actually. Let's sell one farther out with like a 30 delta. I mean, this is really high up. But yeah, I mean, Elf, is it going to hit 220 by then? I don't know. But I like this because Elf has to rise 96% to make the most money, but you're only risking 2,500 and you can make Elf rises 30%, you make 1,500. So we could even bring this down. I wouldn't hate that actually. If we brought this down to maybe 160. I think that's a little bit better. So yeah, so if Elf rises 42%, you more than double your money, you triple your money. So if Elf does rise that much, which isn't that much, for a company like this, it can do that in a month. I mean, you saw that in the past 3 months, it's up over 100%. So it to rise 41% in a month isn't that crazy, and you triple your money. It's a little bit of food for thought with this option here. So this is called a poor man's covered call. It's when you can't afford to buy 100 shares of a company, but you want to sell calls against your stock that you're owning, but you're actually just owning a call. It counts as 100 shares. This is the way to do it. And I've made a video on this in the past. You guys can go check that out. It's called the best options trading strategy. I made that one very, very happy with this options trading strategy, and it's done me very well, yielded great returns over there. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's all I have for today. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel. And I do aid you to, urge you to get into Elf. I think it's a great company to be in. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, tune in for the next one. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.